Anyway, I hope you're having a better morning than I am, apparently. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so it looks like we might be okay. So just give me a thumbs up if I'm still out there restreaming. I'm trying a different technique of using through my iPhone, and I don't know if that works out or not. So we'll just see. It looks like it's still happening, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. There it is. Okay, anyway, so that's what happens, live television. It's so funny. I talk to people, and Valerie, who, let me just, while we're here, we might as well talk about it. Valerie's going to be on tonight. We'll waste time with me at tonight and Sundays at 7 o'clock. But I talked to Valerie, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's not, because I'm using like a switcher, and we're trying all these new techniques and everything, before we go national. Oh, we already are national, because if you're on Facebook, we're international. Shoot, we could be on the moon. Hey, Angelina. I hear someone's having a birthday come up. But we were talking about, I don't want to use this. I'm like, you know what? How many times are you watching the news, or you're watching a show, and all of a sudden it goes to black, or they're like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All of that. So you know what? This is live television. And that's how when I used to be on Home Shopping Network, that was my favorite thing. I loved being live because it was immediate. I didn't have to worry about going home and editing it later, like when I used to be do like entertainment and reporting and stuff. Whatever happened. I know I told you about the fire that happened on camera once when I cut my hand when I'm selling knives and all that. But so many fabulous things come out of it too, because one time, I'm not sure if I told you this story. If I did, deal with it. I guess that's just how it goes. But I remember one time I was on Home Shopping Network, and I was selling cookware, and I look over, and there's Casey Kasem, America's Top 40, over in the corner, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that Casey Kasem? This is crazy. And I'm like selling, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I get off air, and he comes over and he says, hey, you did a really good job. And I'm like, oh my, and in his voice, like, oh, coming up next. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm freaking out. And the reason he was there is his wife, who I can't remember her name, Jean Kasem. She's like 7 feet tall, practically with heels on. He's about my height, like 5'5", whatever. I just found out I'm 5'4". I'm so excited. I gained half an inch. I'm growing instead of shrinking. So his wife was selling these big bassinets kind of thing, where like the oval beds for babies. It was something, whatever. And I said, oh my gosh, I listen to you every morning. Every weekend we would listen to you, the Top 40, and oh my gosh. And I was going on, and then I said, and my dad just loves your wife, because she used to be on the show, The Tortellis. And I'm going on and on and on and all this kind of stuff. And it was so funny, not funny, it was so endearing. He says, Jean, come here. And he says, she was just telling me about her dad. And I said, oh, he just loves you and all this. And it was the most precious thing, because here's this Casey Kasem, larger than life. Everybody knows who he is, and he was so happy that he wanted to make his wife feel good. And I think that's what's so amazing when you see a relationship like that, and that people are, that he could be this big person, but then he could also be like, take her in and just be kind of like, like help, I don't know, give her some of his limelight. And that's what I think is so special. And I think today is a really special day to give people who, you always talk about, I got to go to the doctor. But half the time when you're at the doctor's, who are you really talking to? You're talking to the nurse. Who are you making that? You spend more time with the nurse. Like when I go to the doctors with my daughters, who's giving my daughters the shots? Who's trying to comfort them? Who's trying to tell them all those things? Like, it's going to be okay. And, and like walking them through what's going to happen. The doctor comes in, and he or she will go through everything. But a lot of times it's the nurse that's really taking in. And so I think that's a perfect transition, because today is Nurses Appreciation Day. And I think it's so amazing for all the things that the nurses are doing out there. And I know they're on the front lines, and I know they're working so hard. I have so many friends out there who are doing amazing things out there. Now, I ask you, this is so late in the morning, I apologize, but I ask you just to send me in some of your favorite nurses. And so these are just some of the nurses, I went to school with half of these. Lisa Spezzacatini, Kesengil, I've known her since elementary school. Lynn Henderson since middle school. Stephanie Pedro Yinger since high school. Elise Fine, she was my first best friend in middle school. Ann Gallo Morris, she went back to nursing school in the last few years. Is that amazing? We went to college together. We were sorority 36 sisters, Catherine Rodriguez, a Friends of Valerie, Victoria Tranella Freeman, a friend Jennifer Stavin. I mean, just amazing people. And Vanessa Hill. I mean, just so, and Denisha Fike, another sorority sister. Just so many amazing people out there. So we want to thank you all, because we know, I can't even imagine what you're doing, because I'm a mom, and just taking care of 3 people, just 3 people. That's what's, and in my home. And so thank you so much. I've been trying to get this on, and now I don't even know if I have it on here, but there's an author, and his name is Sean Dietrich. And I stumbled on him because, Joy Spencer, another nurse friend of mine, she started posting on him, and I was like, wow, this man is incredible. He's an incredible writer. I'll post him later. His name is Sean Dietrich. He's so amazing. And he wrote a story, and it was about, it happened in Minneapolis, and it was talking about this man, Sam. He's 101 years old. And you talk about all the things that you lived through. I think about my parent, my great-great-aunt, she was born in 1887. She was the first woman to have a car in her town. I mean, like they didn't have cars then, And so this man, he lived through so much: World War II, polio, World War I, like all these incredible things, the famine, the all kinds of pandemics that we couldn't even think about. And so he got coronavirus, and he looked at his granddaughter, niece, and I apologize for paraphrasing, and he said, I lived through all this, coronavirus got nothing on me. And I just got goosebumps. I do that a lot. I just think these stories are so special. And because of the care that he received in the hospital, he was sent home. And that is amazing. I think that's what's so incredible about, I can't even imagine on the front line, on the midline, any line in the hospitals, around the hospitals, anything, what you're going through. But I just want to thank you so much for everything that you are doing. So thank you to all the nurses. I can't even say that enough. I hope and my neighbor has one of those signs that thank you to all the front line, and my mom has one too, and I meant to grab it. I'll grab it and I'll post it later. But her neighbor painted this sign, and I know the girls and we did the chalk on the driveway, and it's just, so just so you know, it's this, just because we're home going, we're homeschooling and we're doing this, we're doing that, we are thinking about everything that you're doing as well. So thank you from the bottom, top, and middle of my heart. Thank you so much. Someone else I would like to mention today, because I don't know what happened 9 months ago back in 1966, but Michelle Gareffa is my only friend who has a birthday today. I always find that so funny. So let's backtrack what that would have been. Not saying she was born in 66. That's when it was happened 9 months ago in 66. So happy birthday, Michelle. I always find that funny when I'm like, there's only one friend on that day. And then, 9 months after, Christmas or New Year's or whatever, there's a September 25th. Huge day. So many people. I'm sure if you went on Facebook and you look at September 25th, you will find so many of your friends are born on that day. Right after Christmas. Anyway, thank you for the lovely gift. My daughter's December and May. Oh, sorry. Anyway, that's one of those TMIs, I know, whatever. All right, so speaking of the nurses and everything else that's going on, look at these fabulous masks. They're from Over the Top and rental linens. So, this is one of those things, they're not renting a lot of linens. They're not having a lot of events. What are they doing? They're making these amazing masks. That's what's so cool. You can go online and check them out. And my friend Carlos Marrero, he is these designer scarves. Most beautiful scarves I've ever seen in my life. I had him at one of my events one time, and he's showing how he whips them around. He turned what is that movie? I wish Dallas was watching. Oh, it's a pterodactyl. But it's one of those things. But he can make a gown out of a scarf. So he started making these scarves into masks. So one of his friends started doing it. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And that's what they're doing. So amazing. So speaking of nurses, doctors, masks, nice segue. My daughter will be so happy this is on. She's like, what are you doing? I go, sending it to your dad. All right, I'm sending it to you guys too. We had to go to the orthodontist yesterday because she had a loose bracket. And I can tell you, it was amazing. There was a sign on the door when we went into Benedetti, and it says, we have sterilized, we've done this, we are compliant with everything. And we had to wash our hands when we walked in. We had to have masks on. Everyone had everything on. So unfortunately, we had to go in, but fortunately, we hadn't. It's one of those, what do you do? So we went in, and so hopefully everything was fine. and she got her bracket on. So now hopefully we get them things off sooner than later. I was talking about Angelina earlier. Look at this phone case. How cool is that? Angelina's the one that had her the VWs come for a drive-by for her son's birthday. How awesome. Is that so cool? That's so cool. So many neat things. So many neat things. Now, I know I have to practice what I preach, and this is one of the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to just soak it all in, enjoy it, take it in. It seems like everything's starting to wind down with 4.5 more weeks of school, and then we get to summer, and then pretty soon things are going to start opening up. I just want everyone to breathe. I saw someone post on a wall the other day, and it's yesterday, and it said, "What have you accomplished during the quarantine?" And I love the woman who posted it, but it made me, not I want to say sad, but it just it stressed me out. Like, what have I done? And I can feel the momentum. I can feel, okay, we were supposed to have construction. Now we're starting construction. The girls are going to start time sharing with their dad again because I've had them the whole time. Oh, maybe I could have them come over the day they're gone so they can work on the garage. And it's like, I can feel my brain speeding up, getting back into that. And I don't want that. I want to take what I got from this pandemic, what I got from the quarantine, that, we don't have to go and do something every day. We don't have to be moving 1,000 miles a minute, and just enjoy. I try to live by the, I used to be one of these. Oh my God, summer's almost over, and be crying and be so upset. My brother turned 18. He's going to be gone. We're never going to see him. It's like one of those kind of things. I'll tell you the story behind that later. It's really funny, but not today. I'll tease you with it. But it's one of those things where I would be so worried about something being over. I would be missing out on what was happening. And it's one of those things, live in the present. And I think that's so important, what we need to do, and what I try to teach my children. One of my daughters, she's like this, well, what are we doing later? Where are we going next? And I was like, I've tried to instill in her, enjoy where you are right now. No matter where you are, if it's a good time or a bad time. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this bad mood for a little bit. Have you ever felt like I just need to cry? And my girls like cry all the time. I'm a crier. I'm a happy crier and I'm a sad crier. So it's a mess over here. But it's one of those things where, enjoy wherever you are. Because, we went on Space Mountain, my mom and I. My mom hates roller coasters, and I really wanted to go on it. Oh, I'm going to go. It's like I was in 4th grade or 5th grade, and I hate roller coasters, but I just wanted to go. So the whole time, my mom, the entire time on the ride, all she was thinking, it can't last that long. It's an e-ticket ride. So it can't, back that was when you had tickets at Disney World. It can't last that long. And that's the thing, bad times, hopefully they won't last that long. And while you're in the middle of a bad time, you can try to figure out how to get out of it. And a good example of that is my friend Wendy Hancock. She's been going through, she has cancer. She's been going through all these things. And she'll post videos of her hair coming out and now her hair coming in and all this. And I think that's a great example, having that positive attitude and just embracing what's happening and how can we move forward from it. And I think that's really important. I'm not trying to be some motivational person, but sounds like that's where we're headed. So I apologize. So let's move on to something more fun. How about this? Oh, you think they look like they're in jail? Oh, they're not in jail. Guess what little Thumper did today? Oh, Thumper's like, oh, I'm going to go outside. So I'm like, let him go outside. He usually stays just on the pool area. All of a sudden, he saw the grass and went, fing, started jumping. Now, I think that if I had let him alone, I wouldn't have chased him. But he went under the fence. So fortunately, I think he got under the fence. It's like, oh, no. So he let me catch him because I know there was no way. He was... What is it? The horse is out of the gate. That's where that thing was. Gone. Now, I'm going to give you a gentle reminder. Sunday is Mother's Day. Okay, now I know it's hard to find a gift for your mom, and what are you going to do? And maybe, things like that, everything. I will tell you, everybody loves, I don't know why, nobody in my house does, but everybody loves my cookies. Don't know why. So I'm doing a Mother's Day cookies, 2 dozen for $30, and I put them in a nice pretty box, put in the pretty tissue with a bow on top, and let me tell you, I would appreciate cookies more than flowers, but you can get her both. So you get cookie flowers. How about that? So they're 2 dozen for $30, wrapped up in a nice box, and even if you want me to split them up, put a dozen in each box, I'll do that for you, and you can pick them up from my house. I'll have them ready Friday, Saturday, and you can even pick them up Sunday. So just message me, let me know. I know Jonathan Keith loves these, so he might as well buy them pretend they're for Tracy, and then he can just eat them. He's always like, are there cookies? That's my best Jonathan Keith. impression. It was pretty good too. And if you're thinking of an addition to that, Angela has this fantastic, it's called Baker Stow & Go. They sell them at Walmart, but you can get them from her directly. You buy one and you get the second one half off. So get one and give one. Get one and give one. And she can fit 36 cookies, a cake, 2 pies. It's crazy. And it's compact. It's like this big, and you can't even imagine all the stuff she can fit in it. But anyway, if you're interested in that, I'll post that on my wall later. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Again, I'm just going to give another shout out because I think it's amazing all they do. Thank you for the nurses. Appreciate everything you're doing. I think it's amazing. I know I couldn't do it. So thank you. Thank you. If you know a nurse, give them a call today and say thank you to them. Everyone else out there, thank you for just helping our planet heal and helping everything that's going on. I want to thank you for tuning in and sharing the sunshine, I guess. If you don't mind, share this. If you have any ideas for stories or anything, I'm going to have Mandy Adler coming up with the International College Sessions, because I know that International College Counselors, I know there's a lot going on there. We're also, John Cremens is going to come back with some tech talk later in the week, and we're going to have Alfredo Gonzalez, because pretty soon we're going to have the beaches open, hopefully, and he can give us some update on travel. So hope you guys have a fabulous day. We are going to, I know I am, I'm going to go grab the girls. We're going to go outside for a bike ride, enjoy the fresh air for a little bit, and everyone else have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.